Hey, what's up, everybody? Check it out. How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a blessed day. So, here's what I want to talk to you about today. So, in my Gladiator, I got my sound system, right? And I know there's a lot of questions going across a lot of forums on how can I upgrade the sound in my Jeep, or specifically the Gladiator. Well, I'm going to show you what I did in mine. And before y'all do anything else, before y'all watch this video, don't go to the bathroom, don't go get a drink of water, don't do anything. Make sure you go down to the bottom, click like, and click subscribe. Now let's get into it. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been a ton of Jeeps out there everywhere, from Wranglers to Cherokees to Gladiators that's got way like 10 times what my sound system costs. But for those that don't want to put that kind of money into their system, I'm going to show you what I did. Maybe give you some ideas. Maybe it can help you out. Now, let me throw the disclaimer out there right now. First of all, even though I have been doing this since I was a young kid, I'm not an expert on car audio, nor do I own a car audio shop. So this is just my opinion, and I'm just showing you what I did to mine. And like I said, maybe it could give somebody a little bit of insight, a little bit of idea, and maybe I can help you out. So I'm gonna show you what I got. I run 2 amplifiers in here, one for my regular stereo and one for, when I say regular stereo, I'm talking about the 2 pods I got installed back there, and for my other stuff. Now, I haven't upgraded all of my stock speakers yet because I'm getting around to it. It takes time, do one thing at a time. We're working on it. So the amplifier, the PB that I have, it runs all of that. But my sub amp is mounted inside the box with the sub. I'm not going to show you the amp, but I am going to let you know that I am running a Hiphonics Brutus 1600 watt for the sub. 1 sub, not 2. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you what it sounds like with that sub. And I have 3 other subs back here that I'm going to hook up and let you hear how it sounds with those. And I'm going to tell you what I got first, and what kind of subs we're going to run this little test on, and then I'm going to show you what it sounds like. So let's go. So here we go. Never mind all of my drills and everything else I got up under here. This is my SSA Decon 10-inch sub, and my amp is stored in this compartment over here, the Hiphonics. Now, this box right here, when I built it, I got to think back now, it's like a couple years ago when I first built this box. But if I can remember, I think I built this box to 0.85 cubic feet. I think, if I can remember that back that far, but that's this. And just want to show you something about this Decon, this SSA, before I crank it up. This is rated at 300 watts RMS and 600 watts peak. The box it calls for is supposed to be within the range of 0.75 to 0.90 cubic feet. So the box is in the range because, like I said before, I built this box to 0.85 cubic feet. Now, I want to show you something real close. You see all of this? This speaker is shredded. Look at this. This comes from 2 years of abuse. Look at that. Torn, ripped, beat up. And I've tried to repair it. I don't know, I'm getting lazy, just didn't want to buy another one. But there's another reason why I didn't want to get rid of this thing, y'all. And when I turn it on, you'll see what I'm talking about. It still hits. I don't know why. Don't understand why this speaker's still playing, but it does. So I'm still rolling with it. But it has come time that I need to get rid of this thing and do something with it. So I'm going to use this, and we're going to let you hear what it sounds like. And then we're going to hook the other ones up and let you hear what they sound like. Now I'm going to go show you what other speakers we're going to be putting in here. Well, 2 of them I'm not putting in here, but 1 of them I am. But I just want to let you see what they sound like in different environments. And the main goal here is to teach you that you got to pay attention to things like cubic feet, especially when it comes to a sub. So hold on. And one of the main goals here is to teach you all, well, for the ones who don't know, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you out there that know, but for the ones that don't, when you're researching and putting subwoofers in your vehicle, one of the things that you really have to pay attention to is the cubic feet of space that subwoofer requires. Because if you're not in that optimal range for what it requires, then you're going to have problems in the sound. And when you pay money or spend the money to put these subwoofers in your vehicle, you kind of want your money's worth, right? You want that optimal sound. And that is what my intent is right here, is to show you how important that is. Now, each subwoofer has its own space that you have to work with. Now, when you buy your subwoofers, they will tell you in the spec sheet what size box that they require. Now, you could buy the prefab boxes, which is fine. And if you're gonna do that and you don't wanna spend the time in building your own box to the size of the speaker that you have or the cubic feet of space that you have to work with, and you buy a prefab box, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're gonna do that, buy the box first. And here's the reason I'm saying buy the box first. Because what if you buy a box and the maximum size of the box is 1 cubic feet? Now, what if your speaker, the minimum has to be 1.25 cubic feet of airspace? Well, then the box is gonna be too small. Now you got a problem. Or what if the box is too big? I don't know. So this is my intent on this right here, is to show you the difference in sound when it comes to the speakers. So let's get into it. Now, sitting in my garage, and I'm gonna show you the 3 speakers that we're gonna be working with. I'm sweating, y'all, it's hot. So, whoo, it's hot, y'all. Anyway, these are the 3 speakers that I'm gonna be working with. So we got a kicker, Competency, and Memphis audio. Now, 3 different speakers, 3 different styles, boxes. Well, actually 2 different styles of boxes because they require the same, but this one is different. First, we have 2 kicker Competencies, and I think this one is the older one, and they're both very different. So this one in the middle is 150 watts RMS and 300 watts peak. It requires a box of 1 cubic feet to 2.4 cubic feet. A lot for a 10. Now, this one is almost the same, but it's a little bit different. It's 250 watts RMS and 500 watts peak. It also requires a 1 cubic feet to 2.4 cubic feet of space. Now the Memphis, on the other hand, is 300 watts RMS and 600 watts peak. It requires a 0.75 to 0.90 cubic feet of airspace. So as you can see, my box is too small for these. These require a bigger box, which means I could build a bigger box, a 2 cubic feet of space box, put both of these in and put them in my JKU, and they sound great. But in my box, in the Gladiator, they're not supposed to sound good, and you'll see what I mean. But the Memphis, on the other hand, being at its 0.75 to 0.90, it should sound good because the box is built to 0.85. So we're gonna let you see what it sounds like with the SSA, all torn and shredded. Then we're gonna hook up this one, which is the 150 watts. Then we're gonna hook up this one to 250, and then we're gonna hook up this one to 300 watts RMS, and we're gonna run through them all and let you see what they sound like. So, having said that, let's do it. All right, so you might hear a little bit of noise in the background. That's the fan running. It's hot out here. It's Texas. Y'all know how it is. I got it sitting still without moving. So, anyway, I'm gonna play a couple songs. I'm only gonna play about 10 seconds of each on each speaker, and you can hear how it sounds. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it with the seat up and with the seat down, because there is a difference in how it sounds. And you especially tell in this one because it's all shredded. So, pay attention. Now that is with the seat up. Now I'm gonna put the seat down because you won't be able to hear all the rattling because the voice coil is about to go. I've been trying to blow it up. So. the first kicker that is 150 watts RMS and 300 watts peak. You can tell that it sounds decent, but it doesn't sound as good as the other speaker did, because this requires at least a 1 cubic feet of space box, and this box is only 0.85. Now, here's the other kicker. Now keep in mind, this one is 250 watts RMS and 500 watts peak, but it still requires the same amount of airspace as the other box. Well, as the other speaker, 1 cubic feet. So this box is undersized for this one too. So let's hear it. Speaker. Put the seat down. So, that was this one. Same size box supposed to have as the other one, but it can handle more power. But it doesn't do any good if the box is undersized, as you can see. Now this is the Memphis. Now the Memphis should sound decent. I don't know how it's gonna sound because this is the first time I've hooked this up in here. But it should sound decent because the range for this, I mean, it's 300 watts RMS and 600 watts peak, but the box that it's supposed to be in is 0.75 to 0.90 cubic feet. And like I've said a dozen times already, 0.85. So let's see what it sounds like. Now let's put the seat down. there you have it. You know, like I said at the beginning of the video, the whole intent was to show how important the little things are, and the little things can be a big thing. For example, the cubic feet of space. And that's really mainly what I want y'all to pay attention to, is when you're deciding on putting subs, because you can make it sound really good and you can give it some bass. All depends on what you do with it. There are a lot of good brands out there like JL Audio, Sherwin Vega. I'm not gonna go through it because there's a couple dozen out there. But you gotta make sure that whatever subwoofer that you decide to go with, you have the amount of space in there to work with it. Any sub will sound good. Well, I wouldn't say any sub, but any decent sub will sound good, even if you don't have the correct amount of airspace. And obviously, the kickers didn't sound that well. They sounded okay, but they didn't sound like they should have sounded because the box is undersized for those. And it would have been better in a bigger application, like say in a Wrangler or something bigger where you can build a bigger box for it. Now, the Memphis sounds better than the kickers did. Not as good as my SSA, but the SSA is a competition subwoofer, so it should sound better. Dual magnets, voice coils, all that other stuff. But anyway, it sounds better because of that. Even though it was torn and shredded, it still sounded better. That's just the quality of the speaker. I'm gonna stick with the Memphis for a while, see what it sounds like, and down the road get me another SSA from somewhere. And by that time, I'll have the rest of my sound system upgraded with the dash speakers and everything, so it'll sound a whole lot better. But if you're gonna spend the money and you wanna get the optimal sound out of it, so like I said at the beginning, you can build your box if you have the space back there to work with to the correct specifications for your subwoofer, or if you buy a prefab box from any one of the numerous companies out there, check and see what airspace, what the cubic feet is for that box, and then decide on your subwoofer from that. Well, that's it for today. That's my little thing about subwoofers, cubic airspace to work with. If any one of y'all out there, y'all work on car audio, y'all want to add in some comments, add in some suggestions, something I might have missed, hey, throw it in there. I appreciate it. I love the comments. I love the suggestions, because that's how we all learn. Appreciate it.